So Janet, we've talked about the work from home and come back to the office argument, but you touched on something when we were talking a while ago. Do I need to go back to the office in order to get promoted?
Unless everyone is remote, yeah, you kind of do. And it also plays into something we were talking about earlier, which is if you're looking at work as a transaction, like I give you these hours, I'm done, I want no more responsibility. Well, then by definition, you don't want to be promoted. Someone who wants to be promoted is someone who cares more, who's going to go that extra mile. Also, that person, if you want to manage people, people are complex and it can get ugly and messy. And you really can't, it's hard to be transactional when you're managing people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that for the companies that do have an in-office presence and they want you to be in office some of the time, I think it's going to be very hard as an individual to get promoted if you're thinking transactionally, or you won't go into the office.
I agree. I agree. Do you think that basing your promotability off of your physical presence anywhere, I mean, does it change with industry? Does it change if I'm in marketing or if I'm in engineering, when I'm trying to get up? Each department of a company has slightly different culture and slightly different, ways they do
And
things.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Each department has a slightly different culture. And that's what it's really important for you to know. Now, granted, if the whole company is remote, like I'm a small business, my whole team is remote. So it's a moot point, right? But if part of the business is there in person, you're missing out on what is important to people, which is being part of the culture, understanding the priorities of the company. And, sometimes managing people is icky and it's much nicer to do in person. Are you going to have a conversation about letting someone go online when you could have had it in person? You
Yeah.
really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. Does anyone like to be ghosted? Does anyone like to feel like no one cares about me? No, these sensitive conversations should be handled person to person.
Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff you learn by sitting in on those conversations in person. No, I agree. I agree. Look at what your goals are. If your goals are to become management, to get into leadership, to, take on more responsibility, that face-to-face, person-to-person
Yeah, you
interaction
have to learn how to deal with people. People, like I said, people are messy.
is
People are
crucial.
not simple. People are complex. People sometimes have competing desires, behaviors. Sometimes only in person can you say, you say you want this, but all of your behavior is saying that. So which is it really? Let's talk about that. You know what I mean?
I do.